just do a corn and a corn or a corn and a maggot.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, this is all about you.
This is what.
Well, you guys are gonna be rigging too. So.
Oh no.
My back rods are 160 to 180. Okay. My next rods up here are like 140 to 150. And then the downrigger rods, the bottom rod, because it's down about 20 or 30 feet, I'm doing like, I don't know, about 50 feet on
60.
it. Just kind of guesstimate.
That's what I do.
Then I shuttle puck one down on the top, and if it's closer to the surface of the boat, I put it out about 75 feet or so. And it can be a mess, but it seems to work pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
I like it.
Did you catch all those numbers? Because I am not good.
The last couple days, the last couple trips, I grabbed
like
the
I'm
wrong
in
balls.
class and the teacher.
So these are like
she's
only
like, okay, we're gonna do
5
this,
or 6
that, and the
pounders.
other, and I'm like,
My
oh,
downriggers,
shit.
no matter how loose I get them, do not want to let them go. So you got to manually feed
Yeah, we're
them,
gonna have
which
to
is
rewind
kinda
that and play that so I remember the distances because I'm kind of willy nilly.
Let's go.
Let's do it, man.
This is Kokanee.
We had that conversation the other day when we were out here with Brent. Do we notice you get bit going one direction? And he goes, absolutely. So then I asked him, why do you think that is? He goes, I don't know if it's a light thing or what. And so, you know me, my mind just tries to process absolutely everything and overanalyze things. But then I got to thinking, well, that's the way the wind blows, right? And so it creates a current.
Yeah.
And so all the fish all of a sudden are facing that direction because they're a fish. They point towards pressure at all times. Yep. So all of a sudden the surface water's going that way. All the potential bait or whatever they're eating.
Tell it when you're trolling. When you're trolling with it, your gear's acting normal.
Yeah.
And then you turn and get going into it, and it's like it all kind of flares out, and you're like, why aren't I getting bit now?
Yeah.
It is a queaky dink. I've thought the same thing. Trust me. I'm like, why am I not getting bit now going this direction? So
again, they're a salmon. They're just landlocked. No different. They don't act any different. They act the same exact way. Every fish swims into pressure, okay? And so when they're facing one direction, you bring your gear into them this way, it's going to make them react. Whereas if you're going this way with the fish, a lot of the times it's very difficult for any salmon to follow right behind a lure and actually track it and bite it. So when you come this way, goes by them, flasher catches their attention, the gear goes by, and they bite at it. Got that? So you have black hooks. Do you think the color of the hook makes a difference?
I don't. I think it's more about the bait that's on there. I use red. I use black. Flip the lever over. Just watch it until it gets out there, and then click it over when they get it there.
You do 2 kernels.
2 kernels on the top, and then 1 on the bottom, or 2 on the top, and 1 maggot. It doesn't, I got kids on here that do 4, and then we're catching them. Hey, it doesn't really matter who moves. That's a hard question.
So the way I'm rigging this on here is I'm trying to replicate a dying piece of corn. And I'm from Eastern Oregon. I grew up farming. So I've done everything from harvested corn to drove dump truck for corn. I've seen dying corn. I know what dying corn looks like. So I'm gonna make this corn roll through the water like it's dying. And the fish,
spin is important.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. The fish have to like it. They have to. Genetically programmed people. Boom.
All right, here we go.
How far did you say?
140 would
140. Dude, we're 10 minutes in. You've asked 3 times how far to put the line out. Dude, that's why when I do seminars and guys are like, how far out? I have no idea because it changes every time.
Depends
because
what story I'm telling.
I basically do it that way just to keep it.
40. I'm gonna write it down. You need to take a Sharpie and write it on the side of your book.
Well, you're the only one that's ever asked that many times.
I'm gonna get the hang of fishing one of these days. Now this is a cool fishery, man. So growing up, we had kokanee fishing back home near Boise, Idaho. We have like Anderson Reservoir, which is an awesome kokanee.
Yeah.
And I remember the very first time somebody invited me to go kokanee fishing up here. I was used to catching those kokanee back home that were 17, 19-inch kokanee, and somebody invited me to go, a buddy back in the day, and I came out and he's like, "Oh, that's a nice one." And it was like 11 inches, and
You're
I
like,
go,
"What?"
I was like, "We're gonna throw that back, ain't we?" And he's like, "No, dude, that's a good kokanee." And the more I do it now, the more I seem to enjoy it. It's outdoorsmen, not even fishermen, just outdoorsmen, right? We always have a tendency to fish the same gear, hunt the same way.
Right.
You know, we do what we do as outdoorsmen, and it's a matter of finding your comfort level in something. But if you want to be well-rounded and more consistent in your catching and success, if you will, then you got it. I mean, that arsenal goes deep, man.
You gotta try it all.
That toolbox is deep.
We didn't buy all this stuff and run, you know, everything we run just to get stuck in a pattern. But look how long it took us to go to, well, for me to go to Pro Trolls originally.
Yeah.
I would not do it. I'm like, what? I'm putting that thing on my rod.
Yeah, you're like, that's stupid. That'll never
do
Oh, wait,
that.
it does catch it.
Dang it, why is there a fish on there? It lasted 5 minutes. What do you got going here? Talk to us about downriggers.
So, I mean, obviously I watch my electronics, but for the most part, I'll start one off at about 30 feet. And
Depth,
then
like downward?
Down,
Okay.
down. Start 30 feet down on my my lowest rod. And then my second rod, I've got it set up about 8 feet above it. So you're about 8 feet above it, and I shut a bucket down. And, you know, just like we do salmon fishing, you know, covering the depths. This time of year, it's about 30 feet up is about what we normally get hit on pretty good. So that's about where I start. And then, you know, at times I'll have these downriggers. I used to use the downrigger just to keep one rod out of the way. So I'd put it down 10 feet and out 100 feet, and it was just to keep it out of its way. Well, now I've gotten to the point where, hey, this thing really works. So I've gotten a little bit more efficient at it. It took me a little while, but finally figured it out.
And you have it, what do you call it? Is he running the same board that
The shuttle.
Yeah, so
the
Shuttlehawks, right.
That's what Brent runs to.
Yeah, so, you know, add a little rubber band to it to put it on there just to make sure it doesn't go bye-bye. And then you just pop it on and off there, and it'll shuttle
Are you
right
going to run a Shuttlehawk
Yep,
on that guy?
Yep.
Yeah, you have to show us how you set it up.
We'll go right over.
You know, I have no experience, especially when you're comparing my lack of knowledge to these guys that have been doing this for a long time. One of the things that I appreciate about the guys on the pro staff at VIP Outdoors is that we're all open to being able to ask whatever question you want without feeling ridiculous about it, okay? You know, I mean, I'm a very self-proclaimed good salmon fisherman, you know, but when it comes to a fishery I don't know, I ask. You know, that's the only way we learn as human beings. And so if you ever have a question about kokanee fishing, about downriggers, whatever it is, and you see somebody with the VIP Outdoor logo on the side, you can ask them, and you will not be made fun of. You will not be anything. We are here to help you guys. We are here to bring excitement to this industry and enjoyment, because that's what this industry is, right? So again, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a question, leave it down in the comments right now, and we will get back to you. So any questions on downriggers right now, leave it in the comments, and we'll answer. How many rods could you have per person?
2.
Oh, yeah.
2 per. And I try to run as many as possible. We can get more out.
Yeah, dude, we look like a giant porcupine.
We
right
get
now.
more out.
Crazy.
I try to put out as many
Look
as
at this.
possible.
I mean, this is awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 just on one side.
Well, and at some point, you know, we're going to hit that pot of fish. And it's going to be
and they're
4 or
gonna-
5 rods go up at a time. So. We can always tie up a new one if it won't go past the knot. Usually I just pull it past the knot, but if it won't, we'll just tie it. Well, you lost the clevis. We needed that part.
Great.
Come on, bro.
Nobody told me how a clevis works.
So a spinner. It has
spinner has a
the spinner goes the blade goes on a clevis. We'll teach you spinners here.
That was good. Oh, there's a. That thing is gone.
I'll find it.
Oh, you got him on the. You challenged him now.
It's just like a bead. It's gone.
I'm good.
gonna let it. And we tangled.
And we tangled, that's weird.
Our mission is completely done.
It's like, well, you guys can no longer fish it.
Catching us the little ones.
It's a good sized kokanee.
That is the tanker, huh?
Quality.
Just go to the
On top.
Alright, we're going to go over to the 3 lures that we're going to be using today. Number 1 is just a good old-fashioned hoochie. Small hoochie, couple pieces of corn. This thing right here is 100% manipulated by the dodger that you're using. This is a Pulse and Cascade dodger. So you check out the action of this, and that hoochie is going to, again, 100% manipulated by the action of the dodger. So see how it's getting yanked around? The longer leader on there, the less action you're gonna have in your lure. Right? So that's a straight hoochie. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one out there and just free spool it to whatever Bill said to put it out there as. I can't remember, but I'll ask him a little bit. Right. Okay. This right here is a Brad's flasher, and then this is a Brad's mini cut plug. Okay. Unlike the hoochie we just put out, this lure itself has its own motion. So you're getting 2 different motions between the flasher and the lure itself. This one's going to rotate in the water as this one makes it dance back and forth. Someone give me a left-handed lure reel. It's ridiculous. So see that? See how that mini cut plug has its own spin to it, and then it gets yanked back and forth by that dodger. Good act. There's a lot of action going on there. And then third, what we have is a bit of a combination between the 2. We have our flasher, then we come down, and you could either just stack beads or you could use hoochies, but then we have our VIP 1.5 Kokanee blade on there. The action you're gonna get out of this, again, this whole setup is gonna be manipulated by the movement of this flasher, but now you have something in line that's twirling, opposed to the entire lure twirling.
The old VIP sauce.
Well, every time I try to say something, I get interrupted. I'll just be on this side of the boat. Don't worry about me.
We're just busy catching fish over here.
Yeah, don't mind that. Okay. So you see on ours, see how that blade's spinning around? You get that movement created by the dodger as the blade's spinning. So we have 3 different presentations. We have one that's completely dodger applied. We have one with the Brads that is not only dodger, but lure movement also. And then you have our setup, which the dodger creates movement, and then you have the blade rotating as well. So 3 different movements. I don't know which one works the best when. I will say that I forgot about this guy here, and it's out there 300 feet, so I'm gonna reel that back into 140 because that's where it's supposed to be. My bad. Jeff's over there just reeling in fish. Must be nice. Another Coke sauce bite?
Yes.
Well,
I'm not sure.
I might have lost that one, and then the next ride got there. I might have
Lost it.
Well, lassoed, hooked, and
It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
yeah, they're a little bit better.
Yeah, this if you wanna catch a lot of smaller fish, you go with Brent.
Burn.
You guys are so mean.
And just like that, Jeff's price went up. Good some pretty awesome recipes actually that you guys will get to see here on an episode. I took the kokanee that we had last week and I did 2 different things with them. Well, 3. But I smoked them and we did whole fish. So we gutted, headed them, took all the scales off so the skin's edible. And then we smoked half of them and then we blackened the other half. And out of those, we were able to make just regular smoked kokanee, obviously. We made smoked kokanee poppers out of the blackened kokanee. I took that and obviously just blackened kokanee one night for dinner over a Caesar salad. We did a blackened kokanee fried rice with one of them. I can't remember what else we do with the other one. But anyways, we'll have all that on an episode coming up, so you guys are gonna have to pay attention to that. There's another one. We did that reddish one that's both front and back red. That's a matte color. And then we also did one that's orange. Yeah, real orange. I think he's gone. I'm not sure if he's gone. That's how good of a fisherman I am. I don't know if I got a fisherman rod.
Yeah,
Where the fish are.
exactly.
Did you get yours in?
Yeah. I'm on downrigger. I'm only about 50 feet out.
Good one.
Yeah, these are.
When it comes to cleaning a kokanee, I see very often that guys are just filleting kokanee. Here's one of the ways that we clean kokanee that really make it nice to be able to enjoy the whole fish and also makes the skin edible. One of the first thing we want to do is we want to knock off the scales. There's 2 ways to knock off scales. You can take your hose and go against the scale and start blowing them off, or you take your knife and you start scraping. They also make scalers that does this same exact thing, but I don't know, I don't find that they're that much better. Just keep that knife against the grain. Keep on scraping, get the scales off there. All right, get them all off one side. And we'll flip it over and do it to the same thing on the other side. Rinse all the scales off there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up right up the middle, start at the vent. My fingers are frozen. And that's a good thing about wearing a cut glove. When you can't feel these things, it's nice to have this cut glove. So you cut all the way up the middle, turn them over, cut down until you pop through the spine. I can literally barely feel my fingers. Pull that down. The guts and head come out. Get rid of that. Then we're go in, open the cavity, make a slit. You got your spoon, you remove that bloodline. And now you have a kokanee that is ready to throw on the grill, smoke, prepare any way you want. So. Here, Lake Merwin, we just came out for a few hours to enjoy it. Wanted to get a couple more kokanee for some recipes and all sorts of good stuff. But again, this is Bill Woods here with Obsession Guide Service. He's been on the pro staff for 3 years now. And you get a chance to come up here. You want to fish any one of these Southwest Washington fisheries. We do have a couple guys. One was Brent that we were out with a few weeks ago, and we have Bill as well. We'll have his contact information for you. I'll tell you, Bill, I really appreciate having you on the pro staff. One of the things that I really like about Bill that I think you're going to grow to appreciate as soon as you fish with them also is that it's very rare that you don't see a smile from ear to ear on this guy. And it doesn't matter if you're in Astoria, it doesn't matter if you're here. He's such a big personality and just a true pleasure to fish with throughout the day. And that's an important part when it comes to selecting a guide. you have to be with that guide for 8 hours unless you get them all before that. So finding a right guide for you, we could do that at VIP Outdoors. Whether you want a kokanee fish, whether you want a salmon fish, sturgeon fish, walleye fish, ocean fish, you let us know and we have the guide for you. So Bill, thank you, bud.
Yeah.
Appreciate the day, the morning of fishing. And
Thanks for coming out.
we're gonna wrap it up and clean some of these bad boys up and go get warmed up, man.
It's cold.
It's cold this morning, that's for sure. So thanks for watching, guys. Really
Thanks a lot.
appreciate you.
Don't tell him. Like, oh. He's gonna.
Son of a... So obviously we know who the credible one is. To the attention, the gear goes by and boom, they bite at it. Boom. Got that? Boom.
Put glasses on.
I went to the store and got some readers. My wife just laughing at me.
Never let me have any
Come on.
Number one, let me start over with that, Karen, because that's not the way I wanted to roll into that. It's that cable in your prop.
That's all part of the experience, Eddie.
A bungee cord or TR1, $2,500, $2. And a bottom cuff that goes like this. When you lift your arm, guess where that water goes? It goes shoop, whoop,
We need to build
out on the
ourselves.
outside. Clothing manufacturers, boom,
Please help.
boom.
I'm tired of my sleeves being wet up in my armpit.
Has anybody tried Velveeta cheese?
If anybody could identify this fish, chime in. What do you got on here? What is this thing? So, yeah, we're a little baffled. I'm gonna guess steelhead.